Our top focus, days after Trump's loyalists unleashed violence in the Capitol Hill, calls for impeachment of outgoing President Donald Trump are gaining momentum. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said that she is ready to start impeachment proceedings. Democrats will vote on Monday to urge Vice President Mike Pence to take steps to remove Trump from office before attempting to impeach him. And she has made it clear that even though impeachment is not the Democrats' priority, she would go ahead with the move if Trump is not removed by any other means. Impeachment could still be avoided if Trump resigns or the Republicans invoke the 25th Amendment. The move would effectively remove Trump from power. However, it seems unlikely as it requires Vice President Mike Pence's assent. Democrats might pursue impeachment proceedings even after the January 20th inauguration in order to prevent Trump from being able to run for federal office. The Justice Department has already launched a federal investigation into the Capitol attack, and 2 more people have been charged. At least 25 cases of terrorism have been opened. Trump's fellow Republicans are now urging him to resign as he runs the risk of facing criminal liability.
Well, I think the best way for our country, Chuck, is for the president to resign and go away as soon as possible. I acknowledge that may not be likely, but I think that would be best. Does not look as though there is the will or the consensus to exercise the 25th Amendment option, and I don't think there's time to do an impeachment. There's 10 days left before the president leaves anyway. I think the best thing would be a resignation.
Meanwhile, Trump may turn to his personal lawyer, that is Rudy Giuliani, to defend him against the possible impeachment proceedings. Giuliani is likely to remove and provide the kind of representation that Trump wants. But remember, Giuliani was part of Trump's legal team which tried to overturn the November 3rd election result, but remained unsuccessful. The team failed to produce any evidence of fraud and lost dozens of court cases in battleground states. Giuliani's own reputation was battered after a chaotic legal campaign. Our correspondent Jagrati Dave is joining us live from Washington, D.C. with the latest. Thanks for joining us on this broadcast, Jagrati. A historic percentage of Americans want Trump out of office. A recent poll suggests that a majority, nearly 56%, want him to be impeached even before President-elect Joe Biden is sworn in. So tell us more. How likely is it at this point that Trump may be impeached?
Well, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said that she is going to move forward with a resolution calling on Vice President Trump to invoke the 25th Amendment, which would enable the Vice President to take the helm of the country if it's found that the President is no longer fit to do his duties. That requires Cabinet to agree, and it requires a majority vote in Congress. If that Vice President Mike Pence hasn't indicated yet that he is willing to invoke the 25th Amendment. We're sort of hearing reports of this, so we're not really sure. It seems that he is reluctant to do so. In which case, Nancy Pelosi has also said that they're going to put forward impeachment proceedings, an article of impeachment in the House as well, and move forward with that. James Clyburn, the House Majority Whip, said in a separate interview earlier today that they could vote as early as the middle of the week. But he also said that they are considering delaying sending the articles of impeachment to the Senate until after 100 days of Joe Biden's presidency, because there are concerns that the impeachment proceedings could overshadow the beginning of Joe Biden's presidency.
Right. Now, Jagrati, Donald Trump was once a popular leader, and now we see an opposite trend, especially after the riots. In the less than 10 days left, what are some of the more unpredictable moves which we can expect from Donald Trump?
Well, we are left to some sort of guesswork because, of course, President Trump has no longer got a Twitter account. His social media, he's effectively been blocked from those platforms. And, you know, whilst he could use the White House's methods of communications, he's got the platform as the President of the United States to issue statements from the White House. He's not doing that. So we're not really sure exactly what the President is thinking or feeling right now. But he is, we know, going to visit Texas and the border wall between the US and Mexico, to make a point about the border wall as indication of in his view, one of his successes, which is his clampdown on immigration, and that as an election promise of building that wall. We are likely to see maybe more of that, the president touting his achievements in his term in office. We also might see some more presidential pardons being issued. We might see further action against the social media companies in light of their actions against him.
Right. My final question, Jagrati, as you just mentioned, social media has all but blocked Trump, something that is unprecedented. Are there now fears that he may incite more violence in the days to come?
Well, there are concerns by the mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, by security officials, by lawmakers, that there could be a reprisal of the sorts of scenes that we saw on Wednesday. There was indications on social media that the groups were planning further riots and events. Indeed, that's one of the interesting things, actually, that's being asked in the investigations of how the Capitol was breached in the first place. That a lot of the rioters were actually talking about their plans online. So why was it that law enforcement found itself so woefully underprepared, as it seems, for such an event to occur? But I think now National Guard is pouring into the city. We've got 7-foot high fences all around the Capitol. We've got concrete barricades, personnel stationed at strategic locations around the Capitol building, where it's expected that Joe Biden will still have his pared-down inauguration. So I think there are genuine concerns. Parler, of course, the alternative platform that a lot of the Trump loyalists had gone to, has been taken off many app networks, app sites. So, there are things being done to try to clamp down this sort of thing happening again, but concerns still remain.
Right. All right, Jagrati, thank you so much for all your inputs, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast.